YouTube, what the rat is going on? Welcome back to the MP Blue Reach River. It's actually probably one of the only multiplayer maps that is large enough for these big battles, so CA please give us a few more large maps when we go into the next one. So yeah, this was another one that came out of my stream from last week. If you'd like to join in a similar battle, I will be streaming tomorrow, which is going to be, what is it, Tuesday the 19th, I believe? Yeah, Tuesday the 19th at 8 o'clock p.m. U.S. Central Time. You can join in some battles. I'll be doing that every week, mostly every week. I will be streaming at that time every week. Most weeks it should be multiplayer. Sometimes we may do something different, but I intend for Tuesdays to mostly be multiplayer. So this is going to be a 3v3 battle. I am playing as the main Skaven faction, and once again I brought Throt the Unclean. He was pretty attractive as a Skaven lord in many scenarios. Now, he's not the only good one, but definitely the one I wanted to bring. I brought just a bunch of Skaven slave trash to back up some Warp Lock Jezzails, a Warp Lightning Cannon, and a bunch of Rat Ogres to give us some mobility. And then I have a Chieftain over here on a Bone Breaker to give us a little bit of an extra punch as well. And then I've got Ghorst, because I just find Ghorst to be fairly useful in a lot of these fights. Obviously good against infantry, but good in a lot of situations. Now we've got Clan Scryer supporting me. Scryer has brought a lot of artillery, and so that's why I brought a lot of Rat Ogres to help protect it. You can see we're already under assault from the vampire counts. They've got some dire wolves, and the Druki have some Doomfire warlocks back here, which are unloading on us. We also have Clan Pestilence here, and Clan Pestilence has an interesting one here. They've got a Warp Lightning Cannon, some Clan Rat Spears, Poison Wind Globadiers, and then some Plague Monk Censer Bearers, which is interesting pick. And they do have Skrulk. I mean, you got to bring Skrulk if you're gonna be Pestilence. So definitely appreciate it. They're gonna go for a flank move, while myself and Clan Scryer do the hill camping thing here. And we're going to be attacked very viciously here and very consistently throughout the battle, obviously, because we have all this juicy, tasty artillery back here that any sensible enemy would want to get rid of very quickly. So we're seeing the Tomb Kings move up their anti-rat contingent, which is going to be a bunch of skeleton chariots and Nehekara horsemen. And then they've got a Necropolis Knights and a Sepulchral Stalker. Following that up, we've got a Druki Master, and then Lokhir Fellheart on his dragon, and a Terror Goose who's been shot up a little White King. A mix of infantry up front for the vampires, everything from Tithe Zombies to Grave Guard to Cairn Wraiths, which are getting savaged, by the way. And then we've got that backed up by the Claw of Nagash and a Bloodrack Shrine, so a lot of anti-infantry capability. Helman Ghorst on his cart. Watch out, this dude is fast. He will be up on you before you even know it, like after a couple of years. We do have a Necrotect and some more Tomb Kings back here protecting a Casket of Souls. Let's go watch this fight, because it is going to be hot and heavy and not stop. We are being harassed by the Doomfire Warlocks still, and I'm attempting to try and stop some of that on the flanks, but we have some super heavy harassment, and then immediately here, Throt and Ghorst are going to find themselves wrapped up with a ton of Tomb Kings, who are now just going to ignore us and go for the juicy center of the formation, and honestly, that's a good call. We can't hold them all down here. All I had was Skaven slaves and stuff up here in front. You can't hold this stuff for long. I mean, just look at this. It fell apart before the Claw of Nagash even got there. So we're under a heavy assault here on the hill, but we should be able to cause some attrition for the vampires as they go about this process. Throt will be very difficult for the enemies to kill, but that's not going to stop Khalida from trying. She has it out for Throt in this battle. She is not having it. And so Throt starts to get beat up. Not only that, a very nice use of the Sepulchral Stalker back here, just sitting back and feeding it to Throt. I mean, they are letting him have it. We've got some Sisters of Slaughter making their way back here for the Druki, which this is going to be a unit that will cause many, many problems in the back lines for the Rats. Ikat Claw now being attacked along with his artillery, so yeah, it's going to be a little rough here. I only have so many Rat Ogres left, and I'm still trying to use them to protect some of these flanks, but I mean, we are getting absolutely hammered right now by the combined forces of the Druki, the Tomb Kings, and the vampires. Now, that said, Clan Pestilence is relatively untouched and slowly making their way around behind what was the backlines of the Tomb Kings, and they've had to sacrifice a Casket of Souls. So that's a big win for us. And then over here, we still have the artillery for Clan Pestilence. And then you can see that they left a few troops here to do some flank work, and already got some nice work done here by these Warp Fire throwers. There's Plague Monks supporting them, And as you see, the units that initially routed are continually having to be chased. We've got the Sisters of Slaughter and Lokhir just chasing all these cheap units, and it's going to cost them a lot of effort here, essentially. It's going to cost them a considerable amount of effort. You see a Wind of Death here, but it was just a Rat Ogre. It didn't end up doing a lot. Yeah, a pretty successful attack here, I think, early on from the Vampires and Tomb Kings and Druki. And it's boiling down to just kind of a big fight up here where my Chieftain originally got knocked out, got overwhelmed. He's back. He's back for seconds. Throt got knocked out, and so did Ghorst, and they are both going to come back for seconds as well. So you can see Throt making his way back over here. He's being remoldered. He's remoldering himself, drinking the growth juice. And as these skirmisher units back here regroup, they'll be able to try and continue to pick at units like Lokhir and the Claw of Nagash. You can see right here that the Claw of Nagash is going to get picked at, and then I really wanted this Claw of Nagash dead. We cannot let this unit live for much longer and have any prayer to win the battle. And so while I had some fast units left, including Throt, so despite how much he eats, he is pretty quick. It's kind of like Grum. But look at this Khalida. I mean, she is just screaming mad at the rats. I thought she was supposed to have this kind of burning hate for the vampires, but apparently it's for the rats. I mean, she just has not stopped following Throt the entire battle. That was a very brutal breath attack there from Lokhir. Still got a Terrorgeist up here and a Bloodrack Shrine and Helm and Ghorst all wreaking havoc, but you can see Ghorst is under fire from the Warp Lightning Cannon, and now Clan Pestilence starts to bring up the rear guard here, and the Warp Fire Throwers are going to be brutal. Without anything to get rid of them, I mean, they are going to do some tremendous damage to basically any infantry on the battlefield right now, because the Druki didn't bring anything that was heavily armored. So definitely looking forward to that. Anyway, I'm going to move away from Khalida and just try and keep going here. You can see Ghorst got tied up with some Graveguard back there, but he's doing okay. I'm going to move Throt back over towards him. This Necrotect and High Queen Khalida definitely want a piece of us. And again, I was mentioning back here that as these units route and regroup, they're going to be continuously kind of just picking at Lokhir. Lokhir summoned, or sorry, the Tomb King summoned their Shabti here, when I would have actually kind of expected to see that summoned on top of these regrouped skirmishers, but they'll still be able to give chase. Lokhir is going to take a couple shots in the butt as he comes back, but at this point, I was basically running my leadership to the protection of Clan Pestilence, and I finally found it. So Khalida can sit here and deal with these Plague Monks if she likes, which I don't think she will like. She doesn't have a ton of armor, so Plague Monks are going to be a little bit ugly for her to face down. And at this point, Throt and his little goon squad is free to go help elsewhere. Lokhir is in pretty rough shape up here. He does manage to rout a Warlock Engineer, and he's got Ikit wavering. But he took a lot of damage flying away from those regrouped Jezzails. See the Doomfire Warlocks back here doing some great work. Got a Burning Head coming through Pestilence over here, and it will connect some of these units. But remember that some of these Skaven weapon teams are heavily armored, and the Burning Head not near as effective against them as it would be, say, against like a Plague Monk or the Censer Bearers. So the Burning Head actually probably should have been used on those units, as the you can see 70 armor on the Warp Fire Throwers and 100 armor on the Poison Wind Globadiers. They have more armor than you tend to think. Like a lot of times when you go attack a skirmish unit, you just assume like, oh, it's just some cheap low armor unit, it'll fall apart, and they will to many things. But you know, when it's spells like that that are less effective against armor, like Burning Head, you're gonna pay a price for it. I got really shocked here as this Bloodrack Shrine I thought would just route easily, and it darn near routed Ghorst and Throt. So give this Angry Medusa some credit here. That Bloodrack Shrine looks awesome. It's going to be chased off the battlefield, and at this point, because of the return of Clan Pestilence through the back line and to come in to support, we are going to be able to take control of the battlefield as the Skaven. We did manage to down. That was the Claw of Nagash. Let's see, somewhere over here I think is Lokhir. Like he died somewhere on the battlefield over here, and then the Skaven are able to pull out the win. That was a crazy battle. That was a lot of fun. Like I loved the aggressive assault early on by our opponents. It was actually extremely effective. The way that I was set up with my teammate, we were highly ill-prepared to meet such an assault, and it darn near cost us the battle. The aggression, the way they flew through, they went after those units, it darn near worked for him. It was really good. And then Senshi Bat, I got to give him some credit here. I mean, Khalida was just like a rat-seeking missile. She was not giving up on Throt, and she was causing him grief throughout the entire battle. So that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. Let's take a look at some of my units. I don't think I did anything particularly good here. I mean, other than Ghorst getting some decent value. A little bit of value out of these units, even though they died early. They managed to, you know, still get a bunch of damage done before the battle started, but I didn't really do much of note in this one. You can see Ikaclaw performed extremely well this battle under the command of Isidore, and honestly, this is not bad coming from a Warlock Engineer as far as numbers go. Let's take a look at some of his other teams here. Getting quite a bit of raw damage out of this Jezzail unit, even though the value wasn't super high. Not a lot out of the Rattling guns. The other Jezzail, again, quite a bit of raw value. And then huge value out of the Avalanche Mortars. These guys really racked it up. 17,000 raw damage dealt at 2,500 value. That is pretty solid. And then, you know, a pretty respectable performance out of all of his artillery as well. So Isidore pulling up some important role. Skroke doing a fantastic job here. Tons of damage. Still had almost all of his health. Same with his assassin. Was really racking up. Let's take a look at his weapon teams. Yeah, that's what I figured. These did some excellent work. Look at these Globadiers. That is huge for that one Globadier unit. And then if we take a look here too, this Warp Fire Thrower, wow, 26,000 raw damage dealt. The Warp Lightning Cannon just absolutely owning. So some really nice work there from Sovereign on his weapon teams. We take a look at Ordance. Helman Ghorst, I mean, I'm kind of confused, CA. I thought you said that Ghorst was the best vampire. How are you going to let this happen? I love that he brought Ghorst. That's absolutely beautiful. And then backed it up with the Claw and the Gas. Excellent early assault by Ordance here. I believe this is Killscribe, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but I think it's Killscribe. But excellent early assault. It caused a lot of damage. Really kept us on our back feet there. And I want to see who some of his key units were. Probably the Claw and the Gash, yeah. Yeah, it looks like the Claw and the Gash was probably one of his most effective units there. Let's look at Pufflix here with Lokhir. Doing some pretty darn good work, all things considered. He got some expensive targets killed. Same thing from the Sorceress. She did well. The Master must have gotten dealt with early because he got Jack. Like, literally did nothing. So I'm guessing the artillery must have gotten him. And then if we take a look at the Sisters of Slaughter, some excellent performance from them. But look at this, 112 kills, 4,027 damage, and it was only 97 value. So don't you know these sisters only got a hold of some Skaven slaves? Makes it very apparent that that's all they got. So this is really cool when CA adds this, because then, oh, 112 kills on this the Sisters of Slaughter, you know, that's really good. Well, yeah, apparently not in this case. The Doomfire Warlocks I thought did a good job, and they did. When you look at the stats, that's a lot of damage coming out. And they're an expensive light cavalry, but still it's a light cavalry. And then the Bloodrack Shrine, I was really shocked how well it did in that fight against Throt and Gorich there at the end. Let's take a look at the Tomb Kings. Let's see where they got their main jive in here. The Casket of Souls, that's a lot of raw damage. It didn't do any high value damage, but considering it died relatively early, that was not bad. And this Sepulchral Stalker, not surprised here. This thing was crapping all over Throt in the battle, so that is not a surprising performance. But that Sepulchral Stalker, to see it having done that well. Senshi, I like the laser focus on killing Throt. He is disgusting, and it makes sense that Khalida would target him with extreme prejudice. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this replay. It was a fun one. I'm excited for tomorrow. Make sure you come join me. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. There's like the little subscribe button and then a bell if you want to receive notifications. Of course, all that's up to you. Great way to support the channel. You know, it's coming into a new year. I've got some new content planned for you. I'm going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff I've talked about. If you enjoy the content, do me a favor through the new year. Click the like button if you liked it. Leave a comment. Give me some feedback, that kind of stuff. All that helps the channel a lot. It only takes a couple seconds on your part, and it really helps me a lot. And is always appreciated. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 content.